So, how are you all?
Great, sir.
I'm great, sir.
How are you, sir?
Great, sir.
Great, sir. Thank you. How are you, sir?
I am great. Okay, so open your notes and get ready. Guys, today's session is going to be very lengthy. Okay, so I want you to give your full attention here for next 1.5 hours to 2 hours almost. I tried so much, but it's a part 1 only. Part 2, part 3 also there. Okay. Part 1 only will be for 2 hours. Mostly I'll try to complete within 1.5 hours, but if something needed more explanation, then I'll be giving. So, but think of that. Today it's completely fundamentals, but very important for the next 2 presentations. There you will get a lot of other benefits, but whatever the knowledge which you are going to get from today's session is something very beyond than your imagination. Okay, so for that you need to give your full attention, and I want you to be very alert because there are so many things I'll be explaining, and if you don't have a basics in mathematics and physics, chemistry, biology and all, then it would be very difficult. I hope everyone completed till 10th class, right? In this class. So if you know those basics, what you have studied in biology, physics, chemistry and social, whatever it is, okay. So all things will be included in today's presentation. Understand, okay? Don't get confused and don't worry about anything whenever I show on the screen. Listen to my explanation. Okay, I will be explaining, I'll be drawing something, and just look at my cursor, look at my explanation, and then completely visualize whatever I am speaking. Then you can understand the presentation without any difficulty. But if you are just not looking at my screen and then thinking somewhere in the air, means you will not get what I'm speaking. So my mouse movement and my word should be in linear. That should create image in your mind. That's how you should. So, yeah, this is what I want from you. Okay, then let's start today's presentation. Yeah, as I already told, what is the presentation?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Related to sleeping.
Related to sleeping. Okay. So how many of you have a problem with the sleeping? Oh, a lot of people. How many people forgot the things very frequently? Guys, don't raise any virtual hands. Okay, raise your physical hand. Turn on your video and then raise your physical hand. Don't raise any virtual hand. Sangeeta, not needed. Okay, if you turn off the video, no need to turn on. Okay, raise the hand because videos will move on my screen if you raise. Okay. Nice. Okay. But it's not needed. Okay, if you have a problem or don't have a problem, also this knowledge is needed because keep this knowledge in your life forever, and then you will get a lot of benefits. Let me start the presentation.
Okay. Don't mute yourself unless, sorry, don't unmute yourself unless until you have something to speak. Then whenever I ask something, then unmute and then say answer and again mute. Because we are more people, so it will be disturbing to others also. So I want you to give your full attention and then it's your primary responsibility. Okay. Let me start the presentation. Okay. Let me arrange your videos. Okay. The title of today's presentation is the mysterious science behind sleep. Okay. Or the sleep, sorry, science behind the sleep. So what exactly the science is there and why we need to understand these things and why so many people are nowadays having so many health issues, and a lot of things we'll be discussing. But generally today I have changed my style of presentation in a different way. So let's see what exactly is going to happen and give your full attention here. Don't get distracted and deviated. And even if somebody is disturbing you also, don't listen to them. This 1.5 hour session is going to be really important for you. Okay, so let's start then. Do you think you got enough sleep this past week? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you recall the last time you woke up without any alarm clock, without feeling refreshed?
Yeah.
No. No,
Yeah.
sir.
No.
No, sir.
If the answer to
sir.
either of these
Yes,
questions
sir.
is no, okay, yes is means you are
Yes,
you don't
sir.
have to.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if your answer is no, then don't worry. 2/3 of adults are failing to obtain 8 hours of sleep, which are recommended by the WHO, World Health Organization. And average, we need to have a 7 to 8 hours of sleep during the night time. But most of the time, 2/3 means 2 out of 3 people are not getting enough sleep nowadays. So this is the very biggest problem and causing so many health issues. And there are n number of issues are the people are facing, and why exactly we are facing, and what is happening during the sleep, and why we need to sleep, and what exactly the reasons behind sleeping, and if you don't sleep, what would be the consequences. I'll be explaining everything in detail, step by step. So let's start then. So as every time I used to say advantage and disadvantage at the end of the presentation, but this time I've added before only, so that gives you the clarity about how much important this particular topic is. So that I will be explaining in detail. Mostly if you observe my presentations, I will add everything at the end, the benefits and all. But today I have added in the beginning itself because this many benefits are there with this one concept called sleep. And what exactly the health consequences we face due to our poor quality sleep. The first and foremost thing is, when you are having a routinely every day less than 6 or 7 hours of sleep, then your immune system get damaged. And with that immune system damage, you will be having so many problems. Even like a lot of times nowadays, I am seeing most of the people are asking me permission for a simple reason. I'm getting fever, headache, stomach ache and all, and of cold, cough. I don't know why I'm not getting from past so many months and years these things. So most of the time people are not sleeping properly for more than 7 8 hours, and then they are getting a lot of diseases which are normal diseases, but they are not able to cope up with because of the weakness of their immune system. And it increases the chance of 2 times of getting cancer if you are routinely having less than 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Cancer, you will be high likely to get the cancer disease. And then insufficient sleep will cause Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is nothing but, I have explained, you will forget the things. You will not able to remember the things for a long time, and you will be every time remembering something for some time, and then after that you will be forgetting. So that also will happen with this Alzheimer's disease because of this poor sleep. And also it will make you to get a diabetes. Nowadays you are seeing, right, India is at highest number of getting having a diabetes patient entire in world. Okay, so what exactly making in terms of getting diabetic, nothing but whenever you are having inappropriate sleep, okay, inappropriate sleep, then it disrupt the blood sugar levels, and then it will lag the insulin level, and then it will lead to the pre-diabetic or diabetic. Nowadays diabetic cases are increasing in India day by day. So this would be the one reason, like if you are not having a proper sleep, then that could lead to diabetes. And cardiovascular disease, nothing but heart related or lungs related disease. And when it comes to like a stroke and heart attack, nowadays you are seeing, right, young people also getting heart attack. Nowadays cases are rising so much, and people are just simply dying because of very healthy people only dying. Okay, the biggest reason, the biggest contributor is poor sleep. Okay, the for the heart strokes and heart diseases. And sleep disruption further contributes to all the major psychiatric conditions. Nowadays so many people are saying, I'm thinking negative, and I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxious, and I'm a lot of times people are thinking negatively, and then they are not even getting a proper sleep because of this negative thinking, and negative because of this lack of sleep they are getting depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. And if you see, so many people are going through a lot of emotional turmoil nowadays. Okay, and also when you are not having a proper sleep, then you will be always having an appetite every time you feel hungry to eat, and the moment when you started eating more and more, then you will get more weight. Okay, So you will be having always cravings for the food. When you are not having a proper balanced sleep, then you will always crave for the junk food and outside food, and that will make you feel hungry, and then it will lead to gain weight. Okay. And then the last one, even if you wanted to follow the diet, okay, even if you are following the diet also, then what exactly happens is when you are not having the proper sleep, even though you are having proper diet, means you are maintaining some diet, then at the time, most of the time people do dieting for losing the fat. But when you are not having the proper sleep, then what will happen is you will not lose the fat, you will lose the muscle. So these are all the consequences. There are n number of consequences are there, but the slide is not sufficient for me. That's why I added only few. But you can think of whatever the disease you can think of, there is always factor which is there, sleep as a factor in the back end to contribute to that particular disease or the problem in your life. So this many problems we will face if we don't have a proper sleep. And what exactly we need to understand is sleep is very important. From this particular slide, sleep is very important. But how and why and all I'll be explaining. Okay. So can lack of sleep kills you generally? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of
I
course.
will tell you how. Okay. So generally, most of the time people are nowadays taking light sleep and they are trying to achieve something in their life. But what happens is this is the biggest problem, insomnia. Okay, insomnia is a kind of lack of sleep. Means people don't get a sleep during the night time and they'll be always suffering with the sleepless nights. Okay, they don't get a sleep during the night time. And this is not something genetic kind of disease. It happens during your life. Like once you started living your life, at certain point of time in your midlife, you will get this problem because of your poor lifestyle habits. And then it leads to many basic brain and body functions. Like there are a lot of times, as I explained previously, there are so many things happen to your brain and body and all. So many functions get affected because of lack of sleep. With the sleep only, so many functions get reset in your body and brain, and they will work up optimally to give you better strength and better focus. But when you are not having a proper sleep, then most of the basic functionality of body and brain will loses, and then that leads to so many other problems. And as you know that a lot of times so many accidents happens because of lack of sleep, and people don't have a proper sleep and they drive the lorry and very heavy vehicle nowadays, even cars also. And with the drowsiness, driving kills more number of people than collectively alcohol and drugs combined. So think of how much big problem it is. Because of dizziness, because of drowsiness, people don't have a clear mind while driving the bike or the anything, any vehicle. So during that time, they will get accident and die, right? Those deaths are much higher than the combination of both alcohol and drug effects. Think of how much it is impacting in terms of deaths also, in terms of killing. So it could be killing in the sense because of bad health, you can die. At the same time, if your mind is not working properly when you're driving, that also lead because of the sleep only, right? That's why sleep has the potential to kill your life or somebody else's life also. Because of your lack of sleep, somebody else will die. So then let's see, I am talking about a lot of negative things only about sleep, and then see the benefits of health. Okay. What exactly the benefits you can get if you have a proper sleep? And there is no one organ which could not get benefit out of sleep. Every organ has a lot of benefit from the sleep. That's the first line meaning. Okay. And you are mostly awake by 2/3. Mostly, as I said, 8 hours of sleep is needed. And out of 24 hours, and if you remove 8, mean remaining 2/3 is a awake full time only. And whatever you do in your daytime or awakeful state, I don't know how much it will contribute towards your growth or to your life or to your benefits. But that 1/3 of sleep is going to contribute so much benefits, as I explained what exactly you are going to get in the previous slide if you don't have a proper sleep. If you can maintain a proper sleep, then these are all the benefits you can get. Okay. These are all the benefits you can get. That's why your 2/3 of time don't know whether you are very effective in terms of creating better life or not. But that 1/3 of life, whatever you had during the sleep, will be having so many benefits which you could ever imagine in your life. Okay. Within brain, sleep enriches diversity functions. Okay. As I said, it have a lot of impact on your brain health and your body. So what exactly is your ability to learn and memorize and then think and make the decisions. So as I explained in my previous presentation also, exercise contributes so much for your neuroplasticity and it helps you to improve your learning and all. But at that time, I already told sleep contributes so much in the back end. And most of the time we think that whenever we are learning any task, we think that we are learning at that time. No, your brain is just picking up and keeping it. But entire skill develops during the sleep, not in a wakeful state. Remember this. Any skill in your life will only develop during the sleep time. You are just learning that in your daytime, but your skill will not be developed during the daytime. And whenever you sleep, only at that time, only your skill will be strengthened. Whatever the skill you are working on, any skill, any particular, when you are learning any subject also, most of the time your mind will store that during the sleep only. I will explain how it's stored in the sleep time and all. But generally, you think of now, sleep will contribute so much to your learning than your daytime. Whatever you read, if you don't sleep, then no use. Okay, only half of the story only you are remembering. So these are the benefits. And coming to the psychological health, as I explained, if you don't have a proper sleep, then you will be having depression, anxiety, and negative thinking and suicidal related things. So your physical health can benefited. And why exactly your psychological health and physical health will be benefited means, the sleep recalibrates. Recalibrate means reset up the things, all the chemicals. As I said, a lot of chemicals in your brain respond for different emotions. Okay, congratulations, we have reached 100. Okay, take somebody screenshot. So sleep recalibrates our emotional brain circuits, and then it will prepare you for the next day. Okay, it will prepare you for the next day. Whatever the task which you are going to do next day, your brain will help you to accomplish that. Okay, so that's why it's nothing but the sleep is preparing you for the next day task, and that is what happens. And the sleep regulates our appetite. As I said, you will have a lot of cravings, but if you are sleeping properly, then it will regulates your appetite. And control body weight decreases the rash impulsivity. Means whenever you are seeing any food and you are not going and grabbing and eating it, you will have some discipline, what to eat, what not to eat, maintaining proper diet and controlling your tasty birds. And all this comes when you are having a proper sleep. Your emotions are in your control, and your sleep hunger is in your control, and your psychological health is in your control, and your ability to learn and memorize the things will be in your control when you have a very good sleep. Clear? And then move to the next slide. Exercise plus balanced diet plus adequate sleep is contributes so much of your health, and we call it as a trinity. Nothing but three things which contribute towards your health is exercise, which we have already talked in our previous presentation. Those of you who have not attended my previous presentation, go and watch. It is there in YouTube. And benefits, how exactly exercise help you to improve your brain health. And now today we are going to talk about sleep, and next upcoming Saturday sessions, we will be dealing with the diet also. So combined these three things, like a three arms, okay, three eyes you can consider, will help you so much. If you can take care of these three things, you don't need a doctor. You don't need a doctor. You don't have to go to hospital. You don't have to spend thousands of rupees and hours of time in hospitals. And I am telling you from my experience, I take care of these three things very appropriately because I have very good knowledge over these things. And that's why I don't go to hospital. Okay. So maintain that kind of, as I already explained about exercise, and today I'm going to talk about sleep. Give your full attention, then I will give you full picture about the sleep. Okay. What happens in the brain, what happens in the early stage and all. So let's start the real show now. Okay, so far I explained something which you already know, something which you might be aware of and all, but now onwards, whatever I'm going to share is something completely new to you. Maybe if you are aware of also, it's okay. So before that, let me ask you a few questions. How does your body know that when it's time to sleep? Okay, you don't have to answer. Generally, you think of answer. How does your body knows when it's time to sleep? And what kind of signals you get inside your mind and body? It's time for sleep. You think about the answer, don't answer. Okay, and why do you suffer jet lag after arriving in a new time zone? Okay, jet lag nothing but, suppose I am staying in India, but if I go to US, and there US will be 12 hours ahead or behind. Ahead or behind? Can you confirm me? Hello.
Ahead.
Ahead. Is it ahead only? Okay. So so behind.
Yes, sir.
Behind.
Sir,
Okay,
behind.
behind. Okay, then suppose now we are behind 12 hours, and now our time is around now 7:15, and if I go there, it is a morning 7:15. Suppose I have started my
Yeah.
journey here, and I started my journey here in the evening time, but when I reach there again, it is evening only. Okay,
Yeah.
and my brain feels like obviously what I should be doing at that time, I should be waking up, but again my body is preparing for a sleep. So at that time, what happens is you are completely in a new time zone, and your brain is something get tricked. I will tell you why it is tricked, but generally think of jet lag is nothing but you feel tired because here you're supposed to sleep. You traveled all the way long, and again you have to spend this entire day there also. So you have changed your time zone, and that that creates a concept called jet lag. Jet lag nothing but a feeling of exhaustedness or tiredness because of the changing in timing because of your travel. So I will tell you why exactly it happens, but just keep it in these things. And why and how does cup of coffee keep you awake? Most of the time, people when they are doing duty and whenever they feel sleepy, they wanted to drink tea or coffee. What exactly happens? Why it makes you alert? What creates in your brain? What is happening in the back end process? Why you feel awakened and why you get more interest and alertness to focus on the work? I'll tell you with the science, okay? And how do you know if you are getting enough sleep or not? I have asked just before, but I will tell you now after that also. And if you understand all these things, anything about the sleep, if you want to understand anything about the sleep, there are two factors, two fundamental things which contributes towards the sleep. And that determines, these two factors determines when you want to sleep, when you want to sleep, and when you want to awake. So there are two fundamental factors which will decide when you want to sleep and when you want to awake. And if you understand these two concepts, then you can get some more clarity about your life and about your sleep. And once you have the clarity about these two factors, then you can control your sleep in a better way. And if you can control your sleep in a better way, then you can get benefits, hundreds of benefits from these things. Okay. So what exactly those two factors, we'll see. Okay, so these two factors have so much of influence on your mind and body, not only on sleep, but sleep get a lot of benefits out of these two factors. The first one is none other than, can anybody guess by looking at the diagram? I have talked a lot of times in a class also.
Prefrontal cortex and amygdala.
Look at the
Circus,
image. Yes, Rimuka, you're saying correct.
circus system. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, somebody can.
Circadian rhythm. Circumstantial.
Sarcastic,
Circadian
sarcastic.
rhythm.
Circadian rhythm. Okay, circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm is the one factor which contributes so much to your sleep. And I will tell you what is circadian rhythm. Just think of that. Now I am wearing the watch and it is having 12 hours in this particular watch. And think of how many hours we have in our day.
24.
24 hours in a day.
24.
24 hours in a day.
24.
Exactly. So that we are getting to know by looking at the watch. Now, what is the time and all? But in your brain, there is a clock. There is a biological clock which is there. And this biological clock keeps track of the time internally, not externally. Even if you remove all the watches and also, generally you will feel sleepy after some time without looking at the time also. Again, in the morning, you will wake up without even alarm and without looking at the time also. So, and then at one point of time, you feel hungry. Okay, you feel hungry and you wanted to go to washroom and all these things happening, right? And based on the certain kind of time inside, internal timing is there, and with that only these are all the process happening. And that internal timing we call it as a circadian rhythm. Circa means around, day means day. Okay, circadian means around the day, means completely your body. There is a one area in your brain, I will tell you what is that area, which will keep track of the time internally in your body and brain. Okay, so that we call it as a circadian rhythm. And this circadian rhythm is the one of the main biggest factor which will make you sleep or awake. Okay, that's a one factor. Second factor is, I don't know, you don't know, I think. Okay, because it's also new to me. So this we call it as a sleep pressure. Okay, sleep pressure. Think of like, I will tell you what exactly sleep pressure, but just think that this is also one factor which will contribute towards your sleep. The moment when you are to sleep and when you are feeling awakened and when you are feeling refreshed or when you are feeling sleepy, drowsy, these two factors decides how much sleepiness you are feeling and how much alertness you are feeling and how when you wanted to wake up and when you want to sleep. So these are the two important factors. One is the first one is circadian rhythm, internal biological clock, and second one is a pressure. Okay, sleep pressure. I will tell you what exactly sleep pressure is. I need to explain this thing with other diagrams. Okay, so then let's understand now what exactly the circadian rhythm is. Okay, So if you look at here, there is a one area in your brain called suprachiasmatic. Okay, chiasmatic. Okay, this is a new name, CSN we call it as. So suprachiasmatic is the area in your brain which is the clock. As I said, one clock is there, right? This is the red color area in our brain. Okay, it's not red. Generally, picture representation. If you see, this is a red color, which this is the area in our brain. This is the internal clock, like a watch. Okay, this will keep track of your entire day and night, and this will decide when to wake up and when to sleep and when to feel hungry, and everything it will control. I will tell you how it controls also generally. So if you see here, there are like a sun and moon. Okay, there are sun and moon, and then that rays, whatever the dark rays or light rays which will passes through the eye, and this eye is connected to the this particular CSN, suprachiasmatic nucleus. Okay, this area. And then what exactly happens, the particular wavelength, whatever the light which is coming from outside will reaches to your eyes, will passes to this area called suprachiasmatic nucleus. Okay, and then what exactly happens is this particular brain area will trigger to the send the signals to the pineal gland. Okay, pineal gland. As I said, pineal gland is a chemical gland where it releases different chemicals, and this pineal gland releases the melatonin based on the day of the time. Suppose think that now it's night time. So during the night time, what happens is melatonin is a chemical which is like a alarm. Okay, kind of bell ring. Suppose you are in a school and at 1 o'clock they will ring the bell, right? And that whenever you listen that bell, then immediately you feel hungry inside. Up to the time you are busy with your class, but suddenly when you listen to the bell, immediately you start feeling hungry inside. So that kind of bell is like a melatonin. Okay, it immediately releases in your body and brain, and then it gives the signals to your body and brain saying that now it's night time. Suppose the light went off. When the light went off, then you are getting a dark rays through your eyes. Then the moment when your eyes are pursuing the darkness, then immediately your eyes will send the signals, the light signals to the pineal suprachiasmatic nucleus. That will, that is a clock. That's a clock. And when you see dark clock, then it will tell it's night. When it's you see the outside light, it will tell it's a daytime. So the moment when it senses that the dark waves, then it will send the signals to pineal gland. Okay, now it is about to dark and it's time for sleep. So then immediately what happens is pineal gland immediately releases the melatonin. Melatonin is a chemical hormone which releases by the pineal gland. This chemical is for the, it's like a simple, I will tell you what exactly melatonin will do. You are in a running race. You are in a running race. You are ready to run the race. But if you observe any professional running athletic competitions, there is a man who is having the pistol in his hand, okay, gun in his hand. The moment when he shoot the gun, then that means that, okay, the runners can start their running. So in this case, this particular melatonin work act like a that pistol. Okay, and it will immediately start the race in that thing, but it immediately asks you to go to sleep. That's what sleep starts from the melatonin release, but it will not contribute to this. It just give you the alarm or the signal to that it's time for you to sleep, it's night time. But whether you will sleep or not sleep, it's in your own hand. Okay, nothing, melatonin will not put you in a sleep. It will just give you the signal that it's time for sleep. That's the only thing it will do. It gives you the alarm. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. So understand here, this is what happens in your brain the moment this circadian rhythm. There is a one area of your brain, as I explained, CSN, and this it is interlinked to pineal gland, and pineal gland releases a melatonin. And this CSN again, suppose think of that next day morning, the night over. Okay, I will tell you how exactly melatonin releases. Once the night over, then melatonin will come down, and then again you will be starting your day. The moment when melatonin stops, then it means that it's a daytime. You should ready to wake up. Okay, I'll tell you with timings also. Okay, before understanding that, I want you to understand one experiment. This gives you clarity. Generally, people used to believe that up to 1970, 1975, everything, the biological clock, whatever I explained, right? Circadian rhythm works with the solar, means a sun light. But one scientist wanted to experiment whether it is true or not. And I think you might have seen in Telugu, we have a one tree name called Attipatti. Okay, if you have listened this, when you touch the plant, then it will immediately closes. The moment when you just remove, then it will open. So this is the tree. Okay, this is a plant. The plant name is Mimosa pudica plant. Okay, the same plant. Okay, so what they did, this person wanted to do experiment, and what he did once means this tree behaves in a different way. When it is exposed to the sunlight, it will completely open, but during the night time it will completely shut down. And then it is having its it is thinking that the circadian rhythm is also there in every species, not only human beings, every species on the planet which stays for more than several days, means 1 or 2 weeks, whatever it stays, having the lifespan of more than 1 week or 10 days, everything generates the circadian rhythm inside their own species. Even it is in a mosquito or flies or anything, whatever it is, everything has its own circadian rhythm, and we also have our own circadian rhythm. But he thought that these circadian rhythms are all connected to the sunlight, and he wanted to do experiment. And because he saw that this tree is getting opened whenever there is a sun rays coming and hitting, but during the night time it's completely shutting down. So he wanted to check, and what he did experiment was, he put that plant completely in a darkness. He completely just closed entire light, and then he put it in a complete darkness, and he kept in it during the daytime in the darkness. He created artificial darkness in the daytime only, and he kept the plant inside, and he then just put it. After few hours, he went and just opened lightly and saw whether the plants tree leaves were opened or closed. And he observed during the daytime it was completely opened only, not closed. Even though there is no sunlight, but still the plants leaves are open, okay, completely opened. But it's supposed to be closed, right? Because it's night, means it's supposed to close. And in the night time he observed, then it's closed. That means there is no much connection between the internal clock to your connection with your sunlight. Okay, that means there is no much connection between the sunlight and the internal clock. What is there, I will tell you, because previous slide I explained, because of sun rays only your circadian rhythm. I'll explain to you what exactly happens with the sunlight. But generally think that circadian rhythm is independent of sunlight. It works if it is there or not. Your 24 hours clock will be there inside. It will work irrespective of sunlight or dark, or with sun or darkness. Okay, so this person identified that, okay, living organism have their own time irrespective of the sun or the moon. Okay, and then this is in 1700s time. And one more scientist, two people have done one research, and these two people are Claytman and Richardson experiment. Okay, they call this a Claytman and Richardson experiment. These are the two people. What these people did was very amazing and very interesting. These two people wanted to check whether our body can keep track of the time or not, because now we are seeing the time, and we are waking up early in the morning, and we are sleeping, and we are eating, and we are doing all our basic functionalities. And these people wanted to do whether we can do those things without sun or not. And then these two people wanted to do one experiment, and what they did was they decided to go inside very big cave, and there is no sunlight enters into that big cave. And these two people, what they did, they carried two hospital beds, and they carried whatever the food which is sufficient for the next 6 weeks, whatever they are going to do experiment for next 1.5 month. And they took all the water, essential things, whatever is needed, and measuring devices, whatever the devices which they are, because they are scientists, they want to measure different things. So they went deep inside the cave with all the different things, whatever they needed. Very deepest area, very deep cave in the entire world. They went inside the cave. There is no sunlight enters, and then they started staying there for nearly, they stayed for 22 days. And after 20, because for traveling they took some days, and it's nearly 1.5 month experiment, but there they stayed in a complete, guys mute, for completely they stayed for nearly 22 days in that cave. And what they observed and what they found out was, generally our internal clock is a 24 hours which will set up with generally. Okay, when they started staying there, they started sleeping and eating and doing all the basic things, and then their day started increasing. Instead of 24 hours, it went nearly 26 hours. How it means, in a daytime they are almost 18 hours they are awake, and then they are extra getting a nearly 8 hours sleep. 18 hours plus 8 hours, almost 16 hours, sorry, 26 hours they are having. And slowly it started changing, and sometimes it is getting 24, 25.5 hours and 26.5 hours, and it is increasing 26, 27. So they found out that, okay, we don't have to have a sunlight to maintain our own biological clock, but the biological clock is drifting away, means increasing its time. Instead of 24 hours, it is getting more time, means our biological, internally we are, our day is increasing, day is expanding. Instead of 24 hours, it is getting 26 hours. But generally when you are outside, means they are in the cave, that's why they are clock is getting drifted, means their day is becoming more longer and their night is also getting longer. They are, instead of sleeping 8 hours, they are sleeping for 10 hours, and instead of awaken for 16 hours, they are awaken for 20 hours. Like that, their day is increasing. And then what happens with the sun? I explained your sun has power with the that CSN nucleus, and that reset your things. So think of this is the watch. Okay, this is the watch, and you bought the watch. When you buy the watch, what happens? Now the time is 7 o'clock. Now the time is 7 o'clock. But generally, when you buy the watch, when it is not set up, then it is showing a 5 o'clock only. So what you do, you will just, there is a knob will be there, there is a dial knob will be there. You will be adjusting the time so that it will show the right time for you because you are setting it. So this dial is there, right? This dial in our life, like a sun will set up our, sometimes our time will goes drift away, goes higher or lesser. So the sun rays will set up our dial internal clock to only to 24 hours only. As there is no sun means our internal timing will be there, but not 24 hours, maybe lesser or more than that. But when there is a sun which is present in our day-to-day life, when you are seeing the sunlight, then it will keep your biological clock to only 24 hours. You got it? So this is the experiment these people did and found out that we can also have our own internal time tracker, biological clock without sun also. But after few days, it will drift away and our day eventually become bigger. But if you have a sunlight, then you can adjust your time to 24 hours. Means every time when your day is getting more, then it will automatically readjusted to 24 hours. Clear, right? So this is what they did experiment. And this is the first and foremost thing is about a circadian rhythm. And think of that, everybody's circadian rhythm is different. Means circadian rhythm is nothing but a signal. Circadian rhythm is nothing but a signal which will release in your brain, and it will ask you to sleep or either to wake up. These are kind of, and there are so many things will be there. And in this, I want to tell you, my circadian rhythm is different than you. Okay, for me, my circadian rhythm will start at morning 5 o'clock, but for you, it may start at morning 8 o'clock. Sometimes people don't, even how much they try, also, they will not be able to wake up early morning because their circadian rhythm is completely different than my circadian rhythm. So that's why we have a two kind of concepts, two personality types in terms of circadian rhythm. One is a morning larks and night owls. I think you might have listened this night owls and morning larks, nothing but the people who wake up early and sleep early. The people, night owls means the people, they wake up very late, morning 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and they sleep at night 12 o'clock. So these are the two kind of people in their body. They have internal tracking system, as I said, circadian rhythm. This circadian rhythm differs from person to person. This differs from person to person and species to species. And this circadian rhythm decides whether you are awake in the morning. Suppose I ask you to wake up at 5 o'clock, but you are not the morning person. How much you try, still, even if you wake up also, you will be getting sleep only. Your brain will not register. Your brain will not work its optimum level in the morning time. But sometimes your brain will work very effectively in the afternoon time and night time also. So that means if you have that kind of, then your circadian rhythm is completely different. And coming to mine is a morning. Okay, I will be much more efficient in the morning time. After 10 o'clock, if I wanted to do any work, my brain will not register. But some people, when they wake up at 5 o'clock, wanted to do, their brain will not register. So these kind of personality types will be there based on their own circadian rhythm. And it could be based on the DNA or the lifestyle which they had from from their birth onwards. These things decides, or maybe your job timings are shift. After some time, your DNA or your brain will change, and it will make you a night owl, or maybe morning larks. Okay, so but generally it strongly depends on your DNA, whatever you had from your ancestors. So why exactly we have this kind of personality types? Why can't we sleep every one night 10 o'clock, and why can't we wake up 5 a.m.? I will tell you one beautiful story. Okay, so think of, as I explained, like in my previous presentations also, around 500 years back, think of, we used to stay in our forest. Okay, we used to stay in a forest, and we don't used to stay nuclear family and all. We used to stay as a together as a tribes in a jungle. And around 500, 600 people used to stay in a jungle at one place. Not 500, it's a very big village, means 500, 600. At least 20, 30 people will be staying together at one place, and they used to live their life in the tribes because they don't have any 2 BHK apartments to save their life, and they need to stay in a forest from very wild animals. During that time, if everybody sleeps at night 10 o'clock and wake up at morning 5 o'clock, then what if some lion enters and kills you if you are while you are sleeping? So at that time, some people has to sleep early, and some people should be a watchmen. to look around for the dangers. And then after some time, these people will sleep and the other people will wake up and then look for the danger. And maybe my DNA came from the people who slept early and wake up early. Okay. And maybe your DNA, maybe the people who did watchman job till that late night and then still awake till late night and then wake up very late in the morning. Maybe that DNA came. So this is something, it happened millions of years. Okay, it happened from millions of years and then it reaches to that evolution of your brain. And that's how the circadian rhythm has developed. When to be awake and when to sleep, and all the functionality in your body and brain is completely designed by the circadian rhythm. So I will tell you other things also. Generally, these things could be the reason as explanation towards that why some people are morning people, why some people are late night people. Okay. And now understand, as I said, there is a chemical which releases by your pituitary gland. That chemical is a sleep messenger. It sends a signal to all body parts and organs that now it's time for you to sleep. And as I explained, what is that chemical? It's a melatonin. Okay. So as you see here, as I explained this image in the first itself. Okay. So if you see here, generally my case, okay, in my case, melatonin, if you see the on the x-axis, it's a time, and the y-axis, the melatonin production. So at 12 a.m. means 12 a.m. in the afternoon, in the midnight.
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 So okay,
Midnight.
midnight. So here, if you see from morning to 4 p.m. to evening 7 p.m., it will raise. Okay, I think it's not 12 a.m. Okay, it's a 12 p.m. afternoon. Okay, it's afternoon time to 4 p.m. It slowly started rising, and then at 8 p.m. it started increasing. Means as the days now night time, right? As the night is getting, then your melatonin levels will high. Okay, will go to high level, and melatonin level peaks at midnight. Okay, and then as you are once you started like till 4 o'clock and in the morning 8 o'clock, the melatonin levels will be down. So melatonin levels fall to normal when it comes to daytime, and again it will be normal. But whenever it's approaching a night time, then it will melatonin level will be increasing. But at what time? Suppose in my case, suppose think of that mine is starting at 8 p.m. only, but for you it will start at 11 p.m. also. So your melatonin level will be this different. This rising and falling is a circadian rhythm. Okay, generally it depends on your circadian rhythm. My circadian rhythm works in this way. That's why mine melatonin started releasing at 8 p.m. But for you, it may be start releasing at 11 p.m. also. So this is the one aspect where you can think of. Okay, and one more aspect also when it comes to circadian rhythm, temperature. Okay, so think of same thing with the temperature aspect. I will draw here. Okay, so as a night time, okay, as you in a daytime, your temperature will be increases. Once approaches to night time, it will decreases. Okay, I think I need to draw in the wrong direction. 1 minute. During the daytime, suppose in the afternoon time, your temperature is very high. And as you started getting a night time, your temperature of the body temperature, not the outside temperature, body temperature will go down. And then as the day in the morning time, slowly again your temperature will increase. So this is also comes under biological clock or circadian rhythm. So like this temperature and your mood and hormones in your body, like I explained only melatonin, like this melatonin, body temperature and appetite and hungriness and all will be like that only. At one point of time you feel sleepy, and one point of time you feel normal. So these things and all depends on your circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is a one factor which will contribute towards the sleep. Okay, and now second factor, now you understood there is a one particular chemical signal is there which will make you awaken and it will make you sleep during the daytime, and I will explain again one more time. But now there is a one more factor, sleep pressure, and there is a one chemical which will increase the pressure of your sleep. I'll tell you how it is. There is a chemical which will build upon your brain. That chemical name called as adenosine. Okay, adenosine is a chemical which will increase the pressure. Sleep means as in the morning when you wake up, you will be very fresh. But as you go down during the daytime, you will be getting slowly sleepiness. You will be tired. And then you wanted to sleep very badly. And I asked you to listen to my class at 11 o'clock in the night, 11 p.m. But you wanted to sleep at any cost. You are trying so hard, but still you can't. Why? Because this chemical is building so much. This chemical is filling your brain so high and it reaches to peak level. And then at that time, how much I try also, you will not be able to listen and you will wanted to sleep. This chemical will make you feel sleepy once it reaches to high level. So the longer you are awake, means the more you are stretching, the more adenosine will accumulate. Okay, think of this. This jar is there in your brain. The chemical in this is adenosine. And in the morning, early morning, this jar is empty. The more and more you started waking up, and from the morning you wake up at 5 a.m. and you are at 11 p.m. By the time this jar will fill with the chemical called adenosine. And then once the jar is filled, you wanted to sleep very badly and your brain will not work and completely your brain functional, your prefrontal cortex and other areas will completely shut down. And even if you wanted to think and make any decisions, your brain will not allow you to think. Okay, that's what this one more factor which will help you to get up sleep. Okay, and the more adenosine in the brain and you feel more likely to sleep, the more levels of your adenosine in your brain and you wanted to sleep more. And if you are generally, when it will reaches to peak level, means when you are awake for nearly 12 to 16 hours, you will feel like I want to sleep at any cost. So this is like, think of your brain is in the morning very fresh, okay, with this empty jar. But as the days in the daytime you started awaken and then started doing all your work from the morning and you studying and very hard and all, mute guys, yeah, this slowly fill over the period of time and your brain filled with the adenosine, means sleep pressure. And the more adenosine is there, the more you wanted to sleep. Got it? This is the one factor also contributes towards your sleep. First factor is the circadian rhythm and second factor is the sleep pressure, and which will be continuously for 24 hours cycle, 24 hours time cycle. So now let's understand what exactly the coffee plays a role in this particular concept. As you are now listening to my class and then you wanted to drink coffee at this point of time, what happens when you wanted to take a caffeine? Not only coffee, there are so many other things also have caffeine. So I will tell you what exactly happen in your brain when you take a coffee or caffeine, and then why you feel awaken, why you feel alert. Okay, so see here, a chemical that makes you feel more alert and awake, the chemical is called as a caffeine. But as I said, adenosine is the chemical which make you feel more sleepy. It's completely opposite. Adenosine, when there is more chemical in your brain, you will feel more sleepy. But when there is a high caffeine in your brain, you will feel more alert and awaken. So generally, if you see here, it blocks the sleepiness signals communicated to the brain by the adenosine. As I said, the more chemical increases in your brain because of adenosine, then once it reaches to peak level, it sends the signals to all the brain parts saying that now I have reached to maximum level. It's time for you to sleep and I am wanting to sleep at any cost. But these signals, okay, think of that. I'm calling to you saying that I'm adenosine. I'm calling to you to the brain areas that I want to sleep. But the moment when something came like as a caffeine in between, you will not listen to my words. It's nothing but muting. Okay, it's nothing but somebody is muting me. Whatever I'm communicating to you, it is not reaches to you. You are not receiving the signals from my end. Then your brain get tricked. Your brain get tricked that I am not here, and then it will continues to be awake only. But there is a very big problem with this. Okay, I will explain what exactly. It is blocking the signals, but I'm continuously speaking here. I'm continuously speaking here, and but you are not receiving that. I will tell you what exactly happens with that. But if you wanted to awake, then caffeine will help you to stay awake. But that's not a good thing because there is a one more chemical called adenosine is rising very high level to keep you in a sleep, but you are forcefully keeping yourself awaken. And what would be the consequence? I will tell you. Okay, consequence has an average life of 5 to 7 hours. Okay, half of average life means what exactly it means. That is what when I've taken the coffee. Okay, I've taken the coffee around evening 5 o'clock. So for me to come out of that caffeine effect, it will take nearly 5 to 7 hours, means by 10 o'clock also I will not get sleep. Suppose I have taken a coffee at 8 o'clock in the night time, then I will be suffering so much to get the sleep because my adenosine is not giving the signals to me, to my brain, it is blocking, and I'll be continuously still awake and only till night 12 o'clock. But I want to sleep and I slept in the bed, but I'm not getting the sleep because of the adenosine is not working in my brain because it's blocked. So caffeine will have 5 to 7 hours of effect on you, not to induce you into the sleep mode. It will keep you awakened. And what exactly happens after some time? It loses its power. Caffeine will loses its power, and then adenosine will came into the picture and it will keep you into the sleep again. Okay. So coffee, tea, and more energy drinks like people Red Bull and people Thumbs Up and all also have a caffeine inside. Okay. So when you drink it in the during the late evening time and night time, then you will have a much very difficulty with your sleepy because of adenosine chemical will block the signals from adenosine will be blocked, and then your brain get more activated, awaken. And when your brain is awakened and activated, even it is night time also, still you don't get a sleep. You got it? And also there are some foods like dark chocolates and ice creams and some painkiller or some medicine also have this caffeine as a one ingredient in it. And when you eat such things, then you don't get a sleep. That's why during the exams time, when people are preparing for exams, then they eat chocolate or they eat ice cream to stay awake, and they get more energy and more activeness too. And what is happening is you are just pushing your adenosine aside and blocking the signals from adenosine, and then trying to just pushing your adenosine and blocking the communication from your adenosine, and you are making your brain to be more awakened. But what exactly happens is when you do like that, sorry, okay, so there is an enzyme in your liver. Okay, there is an enzyme in your liver. So it is the one which will try to, like, whatever you take, any tablet or anything, it will send to the liver only. Okay, it will send to the liver, and that's where it will dissect, and it will send to the different body parts. So the moment when the caffeine is injected in your liver, the liver will reduce the effect of caffeine. Okay, the liver will work on the caffeine, and it will means, as I said, after 5-6 hours the caffeine effect will go down, any tablet also. So why it will happen means the enzyme in a liver will start working on reducing the effect of your caffeine. So after 6-7 hours it will come down. But generally, when every time you're taking so much of caffeine in terms of coffee and energy drinks and all, that enzyme will get tired. Okay, means it will get tired, nothing but it will get what is the word, after some time it will lose its efficiency in decreasing the effect of your caffeine. Means when you are young, your liver started reducing the effect of caffeine in 5 to 6 hours only. But as you get older, the efficiency of that enzyme will go down, and it will take much more longer time for caffeine to reduce its effects by your liver enzyme. So it aligns the alert speed of caffeine, and the more you become older and longer it takes for you to come out of the caffeine. Means when a young person drinks a coffee at 8 o'clock, he can be sleep at 10-11 o'clock. But when an old person drink any coffee or any caffeine, then they will get a much more difficulty in sleeping, and they don't get proper sleep. So that's what, because the enzyme, the particular person who is doing that work decreasing the effect of caffeine, will get older over the period of time, and then he don't do his work properly. And that's why better not to take during the afternoon to night time any caffeine or cafe, because if you want to sleep little early, then it is blocking your signals of adenosine to other body parts or brain part to put you into the sleep. Okay, so see here, after some time, as I said, it will not send the signals, it will block the communication, but it's still increasing. Okay, think of like the adenosine chemical is slowly it is building up inside, but it is, you are not able to see it because I hide it. That doesn't mean that it is not coming. But suddenly what will happen once crash happens means, suddenly if you just look at here, the person from the left side is trying to push means adenosine, and the right side is a caffeine, and then caffeine will stop the sleep for nearly 5 to 6 hours. But after that, what will happen, suddenly more amount of adenosine which was built up previously has suddenly poured into your brain, and there your brain will completely get crashed, nothing but it will immediately wanted to sleep. No matter what happens, it after 5-6 hours it will go to very deep sleep with a negative impact, not a positive impact, because suddenly a lot of chemical is getting poured there, and send the signal to the other brain parts. Then your other brain parts get a heavy chemical than needed, and that makes a diverse effect on a negative impact on your brain health. Okay, so caffeine is not good during the late evenings, and it really affect your sleep, as I explained why it affects also. So think of now two factors regulating sleep and wakefulness. Understand this diagram. Okay, so here, as I said, two factors. This dotted line is the circadian rhythm. Okay, in the morning 7 o'clock it started to rise, and then as you go through the day, by the evening time it will come down, and then during the night time it will be normal, and again in the morning time it will rises, and again it will go like this. It's a 48 hour cycle. Okay, so 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. 24 hours. And during the 24 hours, initially in the morning time, it is at a high level. Circadian in the high level means you are very alert. And then once the circadian goes down, you will be feeling sleepy during the night time. And again, it will go up in the morning time. And again, you will be awakened. And again, it will go down like a 24-hour cycle. This is a dotted line is the circadian rhythm. Whereas the very thick line, this is the sleep drive, nothing but your sleep pressure, adenosine. In the morning time, the jar is empty, but as you wake up and started doing your work, it slowly started building up. The chemical will build up in your brain, and then night time it releases. Okay, when you're sleeping, the jar will be empty, nothing but the water, the chemical in this jar will be empty. Slowly during the night time, as you are sleeping, the adenosine will come down in your brain or your body. Okay, because you are sleeping and the entire chemical will be eliminated from your jar. But again in the morning it will go up. Okay, again it will go up, and again once it started going up, you will feel again sleepy by the end of the day, by 11 o'clock or night, and again once you slept, then again it will go down. Okay, so this is what exactly these two factors, one is circadian rhythm and one is the other one is a sleep pressure, adenosine. See here, 1 minute, let me clear the drawings. Yeah, see here the difference between adenosine and the circadian rhythm, these two graphs. Okay, this is the what gives you more sleepiness. If you are if you reaches to very down level in terms of awakeness in because of your circadian rhythm and your sleep pressure very high, then this dotted line represents a heavy sleep. Okay, it is a heavy sleep. And in the morning time, your adenosine level is very low at this point. Okay, in the early morning, your adenosine level is very now, the jar is completely empty, and your circadian rhythm slowly started kicking in, and this dotted line represents a very less sleep. Okay, you don't feel sleepy in the morning. Okay, generally if your circadian rhythm is working in this way, but mine circadian rhythm is at 7 o'clock like that, but for your circadian rhythm maybe in the morning 11 o'clock also. That I explained already. We have different circadian rhythms, so you should know what exactly the biological clock you have inside. Okay, okay, so next one, this is the one, two factors affecting. So now you understand when we feel urge to wake up. Okay, when we feel urge to wake up, as I explained, in the morning time, whenever there is a gap between your sleep chemical bar and the circadian rhythm bar, it is normal, then you feel very much urge to wake up. Means the distance between process C, circadian rhythm, process sleep drive is less, then you feel very much awakeful. But when the distance is very high, you will feel more urge to sleep. This is, you understood, right? Now the distance between circadian rhythm and the sleep pressure, if it is normal, means in the morning circadian rhythm will slowly start up and your sleep pressure also very normal. At that time you will be much more awakeful state, and during the evening time your circadian rhythm will go down because it's night time, and the pressure will go up, and the gap between those two will be very high. That represents your urge to sleep more. So these are the two factors which will decide whether you are awakeful or whether you are feeling sleepy. So then you also sometimes you have not slept. Okay, sometimes you do study hours and you wanted to do jagaran and all. So what happens during that time? Circadian rhythm, whether you sleep or not, it will continuously be like that only. Okay, circadian rhythm will be, if you observe the graph, there is no difference in a circadian rhythm. This dotted line, there is no difference in the previous slide and this slide also. But this sleep pressure, if you are sleeping, if you are entire day you are not sleeping, then as it goes to peak level, but still you did not sleep, still you did not sleep in the night time, and it continuously rise like that only. It will continuously rise. That means you have not slept one night, overnight you have not slept completely because of the work. And once you slept only, this jar will be empty. Once you sleep only, the chemical will be completely eliminated from your brain. But if you are not sleeping, means this jar will become completely, you will be overpouring the chemical inside the jar. So that means the desire for your sleep will go very high. But what happens is, you should understand there is a concept here. Yeah, so now you see this bar is kept on growing, at this point of time, at this time, your urge to sleep will be less. Okay, means your urge to wake up will be very high. Here you will feel lot of sleepy. And again, next day morning, the circadian rhythm will again rise at 7 o'clock in the morning. Gap between this, even though you have not slept entire night, but early morning next day, you will still feel little bit awakeful only. Why? Because the distance between your circadian rhythm and the bar is very less. So understand, guys, this is not complex, just basic common sense. Okay, you have not slept one night. Next day morning, you supposed to get more sleep, because entire night in the morning 3 o'clock early morning you feel very sleep. But if you cross that line next day at morning 6, 7 or 8 o'clock, you don't feel much sleepy, because your circadian rhythm in the rise. And even though your sleep pressure is very high, but the distance between circadian rhythm and sleep pressure is a little less. That's why you feel less sleepy. But you feel sleepy only, but less sleepy compared to the morning 3 o'clock. At the time you will feel much more sleepiness. So those things you observe. And here understand, and when you next day sleep, then again this bar will come down. Okay, your sleep pressure will come down. So, and this time when you reach to this level, you will feel next, you can't sleep, you can't be awake even next day also, because already your pressure goes very high. And if you wanted to awake also, your body will completely collapse. Your brain and body will completely collapse, and then you'll have to admit in a hospital if you overnight pull 2-3 nights. So this is what is happening inside. You understood now, because circadian rhythm is increasing and it is going up and down, irrespective of whether you're sleeping or not. Doesn't matter to the circadian rhythm. It is a 24 hours clock, it will work. But what makes the most difference is your sleep pressure. If you sleep night, then only your chemical will be emptied, otherwise it will keep on going. And suppose what exactly happens if you don't have a proper sleep, you understand? Every night when you have 8 hours of sleep, this jar will be empty. But you have only 6 hours of sleep, means there is already some chemical is there which will be carried forward to the next day. Early morning at 7 o'clock, you have only night, this night, suppose this today night, you have only 4 hours of sleep. Your complete chemical was not completely discharged. Next day morning, you have already half of the chemical is there in your brain. And there onwards, you started again, the new chemical is added to the existing. That means from the morning itself, you started feeling sleepy. That's why when you wake up in the early morning, again, you wanted to sleep. The reason is your brain is already having some amount of adenosine. And because of that, you started feeling more and more sleepy, even though you slept for some time, but still in the morning you wanted to sleep again, because your brain is not completely discharged the chemical. It's still the chemical is there in your brain. So this is the reason. You got it now? What exactly causing you to feel sleepy again? When you don't have a adequate sleep or proper sleep, then next day again you feel sleepy, because the chemical was not completely discharged. So to discharge the full chemical, you should have a proper sleep. Otherwise, you will be always feeling sleepy, and it will make you feel difficult for you to have a proper sleep during the night time. Clear? Okay, great. If you understand this concept, well and good. If you don't understand, then it's not my problem. It's somewhere your basics. In your childhood, you have not studied well your mathematics and physics, chemistry related things. Okay, if you have studied, it's okay, good. So now, am I getting enough sleep? How do we know? Could you fall back? Could you fall back sleep at 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning again? You wake up morning 6 o'clock. Again, if you want to sleep, if you sleep at 10 o'clock, again, if you immediately get sleep, then if yes, then you are not getting enough sleep. You should not supposed to get the sleep at morning 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. But if you sleep again at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, if you just lie in the bed, that means you did not have enough sleep in the night time. Okay. And can you function optimally without taking coffee or tea or coffee or any caffeine without taking in the afternoon time? If no, then problem with your sleep. There is a problem. Okay. If you're not able to work without caffeine or caffeine, there is a problem with your sleep. So factors that impact not only these things, generally sleep, there are so many other factors also will be there that will be coming the next Saturday session. I don't think that session ended. Okay. Half of the session only ended now. Okay. Now let's understand your brain's night adventure. The science of sleep stages will start now. Okay. Okay, 1 hour show completed, and remaining 45 minutes show will be there. Guys, why you turned off your videos? Are you sleeping or eating or what you are doing in the back end? Are you feeling bored or tired? No, right?
No.
No,
It's
sir.
interesting
No,
only.
sir.
You're learning something new which is related to you, your life. to your sleep, to your brain. And only now interval only, okay? The real
Yeah,
show
sir.
now starts, and very interesting things you will be learning now. Amazing things. So far you learned about two factors, and then so far I've explained only two factors which contributes to your sleep, and what will happen if you sleep and what will happen if you don't sleep. You got it now. But what happens during the sleep? What will happen during the sleep? That I will explain. Let me drink some water, okay? You also have some water and don't go anywhere.